Hey y'all. Supposedly I is live. This is kind of a new experimental thing that YouTube has put together. I still don't see myself though. I gave it permission to look at my camera. So I'm hoping you can see. Not that it matters much because I usually just sit here and spout things at you. But yeah, if you saw the picture on the beginning, what you see is that we're going to talk about, nasal harvesting today. Okay, I have it on good authority from a certified nurse's assistant that's a good way to get sick because all them germs up in your nose. That's the job of your boogers is to capture all them germs and stuff and get it outside of the body. Except that science disagrees with her. You see, we're swallowing this stuff all day long and all night long. It just usually goes the back route. Okay. Periodically through the day, we swallow and we're getting a little bit of this stuff. And it's getting exposed to microbes and stuff. That part of it's true. We're supposed to be exposed to microbes, especially the ones in the area where we live on a consistent basis, because that's how our body stays trained in fighting them. So we're already doing that. There are actually some doctors now that are saying, you know what? It's actually very healthy to pick your nose and eat it. And here's what they're saying is, well, as it comes down through the nose, it sits out here longer for more exposure to surroundings, then you pull it out, hey, even more exposure and pop it in. Now you've got a slightly higher dose of germs. Yeah, of germs, because that's a good thing. When we're saying slightly higher and relatively higher, still a little bitty. Okay, it's not like you go into a plague-infested village and go and then start picking. Okay, that would be a bad idea. But normalize, or if you're like totally sick, oh, let me pick my book. No, because now it is a high dose. Okay. What we're talking about here is time and time again, the scientists are saying, look, we need to stop completely trying to eliminate all microbial life from our presence. It is harming us. We need to expose ourselves to this stuff regularly, consistently, at normal living doses, normal environmental doses. So these doctors, I guess you can consider them renegades. Most doctors would disagree with them, but these ones kind of go along with science in that they're saying, yeah, you need a good daily dose. Now here's the thing that I really was wanting to get to. Culture's not ready for that, is it? I mean, you're sitting in a job interview and you just go in there for a good one. You pull that thing out. Probably not going to get the job. Right? But why not? I mean, you're already doing this. It's just a little more private. It's not observable, kind of like breathing. We don't notice whether or not someone's inhaling or outhailing very often. Unless they, you see, and then but usually, you're not paying attention to that because it's just what everybody does. Culturally, we go through our lives doing things or not doing things just because that's the way our culture has evolved. It just as easily could have evolved such that it's normal for, a finger up the nose and then in the mouth and stuff like that. That could have been considered normal. It wasn't. We, culturally decided it wasn't, but we culturally could have decided it was. So what we end up doing is creating these cultural norms, and that's, nothing wrong with that, except when our cultural norms encounter cultural norms that are different. Let's just say we happen to actually make contact with aliens. I know a lot of you are just excited to do that, and others of you are terrified. Let's say they come down and they're very peaceful and they're friendly. They're actually a lot like us. In fact, they look just like us. Just amazing thing. And scientists are going nuts trying to figure out how in the world did evolution actually produce the same results. This is just amazing. But evidently it did, because their science says that they definitely evolved from microorganisms on their planet. But there's a slight difference. They're one of the cultures that actually, they regularly, take samples from their nose. And that's just normal because, and they grow up learning, in fact, they teach their kids when the first time that little bitty nose starts running, they try to encourage them to get their tongue up there and start sucking it in, kind of like little kids do, just to help them learn this important behavior. So in spite of the fact that they're a lot like us in every way, even physically, look like us, even their language kind of similar to Spanish, enough similarities that we quickly are able to establish contact and a form of communication. Kind of weird the way that happened, but if they're shaped like us, there's only so many sounds their voice box can make and so forth. So, we have a whole wide gamut of different languages. There's some chance it might be similar to one of ours. Okay, small, but hey, they look like us. That was even smaller. So go figure. Okay, so this is the one distinguishing difference. Because of that, we end up deciding we don't like them very much, and we start treating them bad. Which is a shame, because they're the ones that figured out faster than light travel, not us. We can benefit from that, but see, we start thinking they're stupid, they're gross and disgusting. We don't invite them to parties. We certainly don't want to hire any of them to work at our place because that's just disgusting. And they try to kind of, okay, when we're around these Earth people, we'll try to remember not to do that. But it's just as natural to them as breathing. It's normal. Okay, Coach Deflector, you are way out there today. This is never going to happen. Why are we even talking about that? Actually, it happens all the time. We refer to it as white privilege. You see, colonists colonized this area, and they were mostly Caucasian. And they had this Caucasian Euro society set of cultures and customs. And they created processes naturally based on what they were used to. And some just sort of sprang up because of, the new world and just the way things were. Okay. Then other cultures started coming in and infiltrating. And we didn't like that. Why? Because they were different. And we still encounter differences. And it does lead to people not getting as good of an education. It does lead to people not uh, not getting proper medical care. It does lead to people not getting better jobs. I mean, these are all compounded things, but at the core, it's not out of hatred. It's just you're so different, even though you're not. And what's interesting is, even within the same race, there are quite often times where groups of people are so different that they don't get along. And a lot of times it really doesn't start as hatred. It can grow into it. White privilege is almost a misnomer. It's not just white. It's all races. And it's not just one race against another. It's a culture against another. Here in Memphis, most of the underprivileged are Black. Okay? But in other cities, most of the underprivileged are, some other race. It's not the race that's the distinction. They grew up in a poor culture. And all of you who did not grow up in this culture, their processes are normal to them. I've lived in some of these neighborhoods, gotten to know a lot of, in fact, I was pretty broke for a while. I got to know poor people. Oh, I mean, I've been in homes. I've sat in somebody's living room and looked up at the ceiling and saw sky, and it was not, repeat, was not a window or any kind of sky roof or anything like that. It was just a hole. Okay. Yeah. It's just, and this is what they expect to be able to accomplish. This is what they are taught to expect. And throwing money at it doesn't fix anything. They know they want to live like these other guys, but they don't know how, because poor culture, as it exists now in the United States, isn't what built the current United States culture, the prevailing culture, the majority culture. And so it's not natural processes. It's like, I make machines, and and all the machines use the purple button to start and the orange button to stop. You'd be going, why did you choose these colors? Well, because the green button is to activate the automatic self-destruct sequence. Everybody knows that, because everybody in my culture that I came from, green oughta, meant, oh my gosh, because I'm one of these guys from that other planet. So, oh my gosh, green is scary. Purple is good because all the plants out there are purple. Which is kind of one of the reasons they were a little concerned about our planet. But, they were willing to set that cognitive filter aside in order to broaden their horizons. So their machines start with the purple button. And, they hire some of us, and the first time someone hits the green button, it's like, oh, you stupid earthlings. Every time we tell you, not the green button. It should be obvious. But it's not. And it's cultural. You're going to have to get out of your comfort zones to solve this cultural divide. In my experience, and I do have quite a bit of experience in this area, the success only comes through one-on-one, getting to know someone, letting them know you're not a threat, and you would like to help them achieve whatever goals and dreams they want. And then they become open to you helping them learn how to take advantage of the majority culture. Trying to do some sort of reverse oppression thing doesn't work either. It doesn't. Throwing money at it doesn't work. People. People are the solution. And it's the only solution. We have to leave the comfort zones. I know you got golf this Thursday, but why not go? I mean, what's the harm in just going into one of these scary neighborhoods to some guy that you know, his house that you work with regularly and say, hey, man, I know you're the janitor and all that, but we chat from time to time. I'm going to go play golf. You want to come with me? There's something wrong with that? Because I don't see anything wrong with it.